Hey Andrew, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. It's very rainy here, but aside from that, I'm great.
You're filming in Montreal?
No, we wrapped
Oh, okay.
season three in early March, but we
Okay.
will be back up there in July for season four.
Amazing. I'm
Yeah,
in Toronto,
I
so
can't
it's
wait.
rainy here too. So
Yes, yes, yes.
I love this episode. I really think it's interesting seeing Trevor's brother, Jeremy, arrive into the house, into the B&B. Uh, he arrives with maybe not exactly good intentions. What would you say it
Would
means
you
for
expect the
Trevor?
Lefkowitz to have good intentions?
It's a fair question. What does it mean for Trevor to have his little baby brother around?
I mean, it was something that we don't get to see a ton of, but it happens. I think we saw a little bit of it with Pincus in the Trevor's Pants episode. Is that there is this big brother side of caretaker side of Trevor, and so there's a moment in that episode where uh, Jeremy's there, and I'm kind of like slowly approaching him, like this surreal thing, because Trevor's the only ghost, or at least I should say because Trevor's the most recently dead, he has the strongest connection to the way the world is right now.
Mm.
So there's something very surreal even for him to kind of bear witness to this. And then this was a fun thing to play. Or what are the things in Jeremy that Trevor recognizes? What are the things that feel new about Jeremy? And how does one go from the how do you go from one to the other? But it was so much fun to play with because it really kind of went right into the the soul of the show, which is that kind of life death boundary and crossing it.
What is your favorite thing about playing Trevor, and how much do you relate to, and how much is just fun to play with?
I think my favorite thing is always when he gets to be a stinker. When he's a prankster and causing trouble, and it's the thing that I like about it. I guess that I relate to, or maybe I wish I related to a little bit more, is that Trevor, in any situation, no matter what the situation is always looking to have a good time. And even if he's doing horrible things, it's really just all in the pursuit of trying to enjoy, make the most of this thing we're doing. Uh, so that's always like my North Star for him. Um, I think I have a little bit of that in me, but I can certainly get bogged down very easily.
Do you did you at any point look back on some of the '80s bro culture, not '80s, '90s maybe, from film and TV for any inspiration, or where did you find him?
Yeah, not so much 80 because I guess he died in 2001. So
Right, yeah.
it was, but there was the thing that kind of worked out for me, and then I went back into this well, was that Trevor's generation is the generation that my generation grew up looking up to, right? So like when Diddy had his white party, and that was something we all had white parties, like that stuff that was going on in the 90s um, had a big impact on me growing up. And so I'm just in a way being able to play the people I was watching. And because Trevor, the magic of Trevor is that remarkably in this short life that he had, he was at everything. Like he somehow was at every party that ever existed with every woman and he was just all over the place. So there's something so fun in that. And yeah, there's certain movies you go back and watch. People bring up Wolf of Wall Street a lot, but although that's earlier. I mean, the
Right.
culture is similar, but that's earlier. And then also, I went to college here in New York at Columbia, and a lot of the people I knew went into finance, and so I was kind of around guys like this, and so I think it was something. It was never something as an actor that I thought, oh, this is useful. Yeah, I don't think you ever think that, but it certainly helped. Uh, yeah, and then I always felt that kind of looking for a good time thing, that kind of like puppy energy, is the one thing that I wanted to sprinkle in, because I think that there's a danger in this character that he can be he could be insufferable. So you want that thing that is the relatable thing.
And it is funny that you say that, because that's the first thing I think of with him, is that he's so much fun, but it's an inch away from being that kind of jerk that you wouldn't want to associate with. And he's not that. He's somehow just a little more relatable.
Yeah, I there's been a lot of moments in the show where something happens and someone is hurt, and the person who goes to find them to check in with them or talk to them ends up being Trevor. And it's not usually who you would expect, but at his core, he just wants the party to keep going. And if the party keeps going, it means that everyone is at the party and everyone is enjoying themselves. So it's a funny loop. You think, oh, frat guy, party guy, doing drugs, da da da. But the goal of the party is to party together and for everyone to be okay in that. And so from that core, he gives his pants to Pincus, and he goes and he chases down Isaac when Isaac is feeling rejected. He go, that's the kind of through line that lets you balance the sexism and the misogyny with, he's a good guy.
And I love that the perfect relationship is kind of Hetty, because in some ways she's kind of on the same level in a lot of ways.
Yeah, she's early on when we started the show, we had shot the pilot. Our showrunners invited us to come into a Zoom writers room, meet all the writers, and we did like 2 at a time, and we got a chance to pitch ideas. And I didn't do it with Rebecca, but I found out afterwards that Rebecca and I both walked into that meeting with the same pitch, which was get these two in a love-hate, warring, combustible affair that had nothing to do with romance. And it was just, I hate you, I hate you, I want you, I want you, I hate you, I hate, because they're separated by very different time periods, where the 90s was like, everyone is out doing everything, clothes are off, and they're very buttoned up back in her day. But the kind of hierarchy of it all, and the the privilege of it all, the money of it all is so aligned. So there's so many ways in which they can be so similar and yet so different. The opportunities for this is endless. So we were very grateful that they gave us that little enough to light a few matches. And hopefully we'll have a little more coming through. I love fighting with Hetty. I just think the two of them going back and forth is so much fun, and they're both conniving and manipulative, and he's got a little more, his heart's more accessible, but she also struggles with her sexuality in a way that Trevor is like untouchable. So there's just so much fun to do.
Well, the last thing I'd like to know is, do you have a favorite moment from set that you can talk about, something that stood out as the scene that stands as your favorite so far?
Wow. That's hard. Well, the good news is that usually people ask me that, and I can't think of any scenes, and now I have a few. I'll go with there's a scene when in Pete's Wife, early, it's like episode 5 of season 1, where everyone's watching television and I come in and I get down on my knees in front of Sam, who's sitting on the couch with her computer. And it's something like, listen, I know that I come off as like a douche, or I'm not gonna. Maybe I am, but I can't stop thinking about this bottle service chick. Can we just look her up? And there's something about the lens through which she is approaching that, the kind of like, Trevor just wants to be alive again, and I think there's something in that impulse that then lets you can kind of forgive a lot of the other things he's doing, because it's just a desire. The same desire to like see if we can get back with this chick is the desire to live, you know. So that stands out to me right now, because I think it's a through line.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for the time. It's been a pleasure. I love the show. You folks are all amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. This season, our writers really outdid themselves. There's some great stuff coming this season. You cannot imagine the twists and turns coming down the pipeline.
I love it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Take care.